On Tuesday, the campus received the heartbreaking news that Vinny Garcia passed away. Vinny was a valued member of the men's soccer team, a finance major, and a friend to many here on the Manhattanville campus. The campus held a gathering celebrating Vinny's life. We here at MNN would like to give our deepest condolences to those close to Vinny. If you need help processing the loss or are generally looking for support, Shack is always there for students. They will be accepting walk-ins until Tuesday. The rest of the episode will continue as planned. There's no easy way to transition from this heartbreaking news to the rest of the show, but we would be remiss to not address this immeasurable loss to the Manhattanville community. Please take care of yourselves and your loved ones.
Hi, I'm Max, and you're watching MVille News. Campus was rocked on the night of November 3rd when an individual snuck onto campus, infiltrated a residence hall, and began going through rooms stealing items from within. After some time, Residence Life and Campus Safety were able to track down the culprit and contacted the local police. From there, the police arrested the former student and escorted him off campus. A photo of the intruder can be found on the Rave app, and an email to all residents on campus. Dean of Students Susan Boyd gave a reminder that if you see something amiss, please contact Campus Safety and/or Residence Life as soon as possible. She also reminded students to make sure that they are locking their suite and room doors. On November 11th, women's volleyball swept St. Joseph's Long Island to claim their second consecutive Skyline Conference championship. Bianca Vital earned the most outstanding player for her final season here at Manhattanville. Lauren Hernandez and Ayla Ruiz led the team, scoring 13 and 12 kills respectively. Volleyball's win this year marks the first time in nearly 15 years that Manhattanville has won 3 conference championships in a given season. Congratulations to all the teams this year on their success. This weekend was the 2023 dance concert. Several performances by dance majors, some of which being choreographed by Manhattanville students, were featured in the show. The last show is today at 2 p.m., so if you haven't gotten a chance to see it yet, you may still have a chance. On Tuesday, November 14th, students were invited to a Diwali celebration run by Cecil and the Art and Graffiti Club. Diwali is the Hindu festival of lights that symbolizes good and light triumphing over evil and darkness. Manhattanville celebrated with food, music, and sidewalk painting. Check out the cool art in front of the Berman Student Center if you have the chance. That's all for the news desk. Now turning it over to Jamal.
Hi, we're live here in the President's office with the 15th President of Manhattanville College, President Frank Sanchez. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Jamal. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
So we're going to start off with some little icebreaker questions to really get the students to know you a little bit better.
Sure.
Okay. If you were stranded on a desert island and you could only bring 3 things with you, what would you bring?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. Well, I'd bring a life raft. I would bring some water, and I'd bring a fishing pole.
What's your favorite movie?
Oh my gosh, that's a tough one. Well, this past summer, my dad and I were watching, we really enjoyed the latest Top Gun, the Maverick movie that just came out. We probably watched it 5 different times. My dad really enjoyed it. So that's the latest favorite of mine.
How about your favorite sport to watch?
Favorite sport? Well, I was a wrestler growing up, a college wrestler, so I enjoy watching that. But I'll be honest with you, I enjoy watching high-level competition. Really doesn't matter what it is, from soccer to baseball to football to track and field. I really just like to see the spirit of competition at a really high level. So I'll be honest, a lot of different sports. Golf, I enjoy watching. Even cornhole on occasion. I've seen high competition cornhole, which is fun to watch.
Are you a calf or a pub kind of guy?
Oh gosh. So the dining hall is still new. I haven't been there too many times, so I have to go with the pub. I mean, the pub chicken sandwich, right, is pretty tasty. So,
what's your favorite spot to be on campus?
You know, I really enjoy the quad. I think one of my first experiences I had was when all of our new students came to campus and they gathered on the quad and walked up to the castle. And it's kind of that memory, and you see students on the quad, there seems to be an energy. It's beautiful out there. You have the castle in the backdrop, but I got to say probably being on the quad.
Now, this is a great, wonderful student question. Rumor has it that you have vintage cars.
Did I have what?
Vintage cars.
Vintage car?
Yeah.
Huh.
Is that true?
It is true that I do have a old Ford Mustang that I have, 1968 Ford Mustang convertible that I take out during the summer months and drive around every now and again.
We'll be back with more questions for President Sanchez, but first, question of the day.
Hi, my name is Connor, and welcome to Question of the Day. Today we're going to be asking students what classes they're most excited for next semester. Let's do this. What classes are you most excited for next semester?
Ooh. Probably classical social theory and fundamentals of philosophy.
Nice. What classes are you most excited for next semester?
I'm taking art design and the computer with Timothy Ross.
Nice. What classes are you most excited for next semester?
Pretty much none of them because I'm waitlisted for all the ones I wanted. But maybe if I get into philosophy of religion, I'd be excited about that. Or love, the love class with Nash. That'd be cool.
Nice. What classes are you most excited for next semester?
I don't know, because all the classes I tried to register for got full. So now I'm kind of just picking classes.
Entirely fair.
That's a Manhattanville experience.
We are back with President Sanchez. President Sanchez, could you please tell us more about yourself and your professional background?
So I grew up in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I'm the youngest of 4 siblings. I went, my undergraduate degree is from the University of Nebraska. I started out as an intercollegiate athlete. I wrestled at the University of Nebraska. When I stopped wrestling, I had to pay for school somehow, so I became an RA, of course, room and board. I got involved in student clubs and orgs and student government, and that's actually got me interested in college administration. I thought the administration could do a better job serving students from programs and services, campus life, student clubs and orgs. And literally during that time, I said, well, how did these guys get these jobs? And that's when I learned there's graduate programs in higher ed administration. And so I ended up getting my master's and PhD in higher education administration, and I've been working in higher ed for about 30 years now. But that's kind of how I got started into the field. And prior to Manhattanville, I was a president at Rhode Island College for 6 years. And before that, I was actually in New York working at the City University of New York system.
And is it different from other institutions that you've been president at?
So, I think it is. In one way in particular, and a lot of higher education institutions talk about how they care about students, right? All of them do. They say they care. But I got to tell you, at Manhattanville, it's definitely deeper here. You hear it with a greater sense of passion and a greater sense of authenticity when faculty and staff talk about how much they care about students. And you hear it from the students as well, of the mentoring, the coaching, and the advising, and the support the students are receiving. They really feel like there's a genuine and authentic care that comes across from our faculty and staff. I think that's a little different than where I've been at before.
You've been president at Manhattanville College for 5 months now. What are some issues that you've seen that are high on your list of priorities to tackle?
So there's a lot of priorities right now, but when I think about the student experience, which is your primary audience here, I've heard a lot from students. One, I think students are really interested in having an improved kind of student life, the campus experience. We know a lot of students go home over the weekend, but can we have a more robust set of programs and activities and ways in which we engage our community? That's been something that is of great interest for students. Not a lot of colleges and universities have like a union, a building where students do all this programming, morning, noon, and night. They congregate and come together. We really don't have that common space like that at Manhattanville. That's an area I'm interested in. Another area for certain is that we know for students to be competitive in the world of work, they need experiential learning opportunities. Now that might be, an internship at a corporation. It might be a research experiment in a laboratory. It might be a practicum in the classroom or a study away in another country or a major service learning project at a nonprofit somewhere in Westchester. I think making sure that all of our students have those type of experiential learning opportunities so they can be competitive when they graduate, that's an important priority for me going forward. It can't just be 50 or 100 or 200 kids that are getting these experiences. It really should be all of our students. By the time they graduate, they should have these type of hands-on learning experiences. You know, the other thing I've heard students talk about that I think is important is our facilities. This is a beautiful campus, but we clearly see, you know, the aging of our facilities. And I've heard a lot about our residence halls that need to be modernized and updated. And there's no question we need to do a better job, not just modernizing and updating, but making sure they're kept up better. That takes resources and it takes planning and focus. But I've heard enough from students now that I think we can do a better job on that front. Those would be some priorities from the student perspective that I think have really come to my attention.
As we look ahead to the future of Manhattanville College, what specific initiatives are you most excited about?
So one of the top initiatives that's really right around the corner is transitioning from Manhattanville College to Manhattanville University. The state of New York has actually already approved our charter. Now we just need to do a public launch. I'm excited to tell your audience here that the first week of April, we're going to launch to become Manhattanville University. Now, there's a lot of work that needs to happen between now and then. We're going to rebrand ourselves. You know, this is an opportunity to have anyone and everyone who knows anything about Manhattanville to know that we have become a university. It's also an opportunity when we talk to families and prospective students to say, hey, this is Manhattanville University, and this is the type of quality of education we can provide you. We have to brand that out, so we're working on that. The other piece of that launch is in that first week of April, we're not only going to do the launch of the university, but we're also going to have the installation of myself as the 15th president. So we're leveraging that as the opportunity to go out onto media and say, hey, we're now Manhattanville University. We'd like to introduce you to the new president of Manhattanville to kind of set the stage for a new narrative, a new conversation about the future of Manhattanville. And so that's a big initiative that right around the corner is going to get launched. We've put together an inauguration committee made up of students, faculty, staff, and alum, and they're coming up with a week-long series of activities culminating into the launch of the university and my installation as well. So that's one major project just right around the corner.
Is there anything else you'd like the students of Manhattanville to know about President Sánchez?
You know, the one thing that a lot of students may not know is that, you know, I got into this field to serve students. My whole career prior to this presidency and this last was all in student services and student affairs. And so I care deeply about our policies, our programs, our resources, our supports, our services for students. And if there are ways we can do better, I would love to hear from students. I value the student voice. I value the student perspective. And I think that would be one thing I would share. They have a president now that cares deeply. And I think other presidents certainly cared as well. But my training, my background, my experiences has all been in support of our students and their success. I think that would be one thing I would leave them with.
Thank you so much, President Sánchez, for letting us talk to you. That's all the questions that we have.
Right. Thank you, Jamal.
If you want to hear more from the president, an extended version of our interview is available on our social media. That's all for today, folks. Thank you so much again to President Sánchez for joining us on the program. Be sure to follow us for more on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
So, is the golden bathtub real?
So this is what I know. I've heard that the bathtub is it's somewhere in the castle. There's a golden bathtub. And I've also heard that one time a year, at a time unspecified, one time a year, every year for the last several decades, the president will actually take a bath in it at midnight. This is what I've heard.